Well, since this year started, I've been requested constantly to do Batman games. Well, for the 75th anniversary of my favorite superhero, well, I gotta do anything to please my fans. So, I'm gonna have to do it.
Now, on a serious note, out of all the superheroes in the DC universe, my favorite has to be Batman. I don't know why, I think the realistic tone of the superhero and the backstory to the hero and the villains that he fought over the years got my eyes glued to the comic books I've collected. As the years passed on, the franchise expanded with TV shows, cartoons, toy lines, video games, and especially movies, which means I can watch the 1989 film anytime I want to. With a variety of Batman games in the line, let's take a look at a few of them. Let's start off with the one that everyone knows, Batman on the NES. Surprisingly, this game has been heavily requested for months. Now that I have the time to do this, well, why not? When it comes to video games, The Dark Knight has been treated very well, because there are some existing good Batman games, and this is one of them. If you've seen the movie yourself, then you might have a lot of enjoyment with this. The game is a side-scrolling beat-em-up with some platforming in the mix. First off, I have to say that the graphics and visuals look great. The dark tone atmosphere settles the game like the movie. The character bios look promising. I can tell who they are right off the bat. The gameplay is great. Jumping and punching is satisfying. You have a wall jumping mechanic in this game, which is something you have to master because as the game progresses further, it gets trickier and trickier. You have a variety of weapons like the bat gun, batikins, or kind of like shurikens but shaped like bats, and the old classic batarangs. Now this is the weapon I love the most. I destroy the majority of these bosses with this weapon and I truly love it. Another way I could tell that this is a good game is me being as Batman. I mean that I have to think like a detective to master these levels from top to bottom. Like this gap here. How am I supposed to avoid being shot? Well, you just wall jump from here and there we go. Easier said than done. But if there's something I don't like in this game is the rotating gears. No matter what, I just keep getting hit by them by force. Another flaw I hate is the revived enemies. Every time I fall down and lose my progress, the enemy comes right back after I killed it. That is way more annoying. Not as annoying as these tanks. What the fuck? They take so much room, and with the fucking knockback bullshit that happens every time when I get hit, drives me insane to try to destroy them. And sometimes they pop out of ledges, which is so hard to aim at and to avoid. What the hell? Well, at least I don't have to worry about them anymore. Also, these giant mongrels around here, they keep jumping on me for no apparent reason. It gets annoying. Getting up to the Joker is a big challenge. If you manage to beat him, you deserve a medal. A good game for the NES library, but a hard son of a bitch! Next up, still on the NES, we have Batman Returns. With the release of the movie sequel, many other gaming companies try to capitalize on the franchise. I mean, the first one was made by Sunsoft, which is good, while this one was made by Konami, yeah, the same company that published these games, but I digress. The corresponding gameplay is a side-scrolling beat-em-up straight from the arcades. It's so satisfying beating everyone up in this game. Just beat the shit out of them! Ugh! Yeah! Smack them around! Yeah! Punch its lights out! You're going down, fatty! Ha ha ha! The music is awesome, just like the first game. Don't believe me? Here, have a listen. The music scores feels like it is a Batman game. Sometimes this game gives in some cheap shots and I'm not satisfied with that. These dudes on the bikes, I can't even knock them out without getting myself hit for once. It doesn't matter, this game is still fun to play with, and I highly recommend it as well. There are many different versions of Batman Returns. Here's one on Super Nintendo. It's the same game on the NES, but with enhanced graphics. This game is gorgeous. It looks like I'm playing an arcade game for realsies. Hey, get over here! Ah, yeah, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. Yeah, smack him around again! Oh, throw the right into the glass window! Oh, that is so painful! I'll beat you two together! Aha! Now that's what I'm talking about! Unlike the NES game, this version has some platforming elements in later levels, which kinda makes it unique and different. I've gone as far up to Catwoman, but with no such luck. She is challenging and I need to have a lot of practice if I want to beat her in the future. Overall, I have to say this version is also good, and if you have a Super Nintendo, this is a must-have. With the other Batman games in the mind, I don't think so. I heard that the Sega CD version is such a bore with driving levels. Again, I don't have a Sega CD yet. Once I get it, I will review that too. But what about the Atari Lynx version? Oh, you mean that shitty handheld console that has been trashed from the Sega Game Gear and the Nintendo Game Boy? Screw that! I'd rather take a shit on my front lawn with everyone watching for embarrassments. Don't act like I'm not joking, I will literally do that!
Well, that was Batman and Batman Returns. Those games are really good, and of course, I just want to avoid shit right now, because I am done with shitty games for the rest of the year. I mean, like if I ever get forced upon by playing a shitty Batman game right against my will.
You mean like Batman Forever? You mentioned a bad Batman game, Batman. I know just the game.
Are you blind or something? I'm obviously not Batman, you know.
Mention something about Batman Forever?
Oh no. No.
I got the game right here.
Oh no. No more shitty games. No more shitty games, please.
Right next to the Bat credit card.
A Bat credit card? I'll kill you!
Will the Retro Nerd conquer the challenge? What tricks does the Riddler have up his sleeve? Tune in next episode. Same bat time, same bat channel.